Hi everyone, this is the Ask Annie podcast, horse girl reviews on products you use.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. We have a special guest with us today, Miss Lauren Feldman.
Hey Annie.
Hey. So Lauren is the senior digital editor of EQUUS, as well as the manager of a couple other projects here on the Equine Network. So kind of tell us what you do on the daily.
Oh man, I am a little bit of a jack of all trades. If it has to do with words and horses and Facebook, I probably have a hand in it. And I don't know if this is the right place to do a little shameless plug. Can I?
Yes, go for it.
Excellent. So the program, one of the programs that I'm focusing on right now is Hope in the Saddle. And it's just this really cool program that's all about celebrating the positive relationship between people and horses and how horses are helping people overcome the challenges in their life, whether that's physical or emotional or mental challenges. And basically, I just get to help people tell really cool, happy, inspirational horse stories. So it's a little bit of a dream job. And if anyone wants to check it out, the website is hopeinthesaddle.com.
Yes, very heartwarming stories. Just a lot of feel-good things on that page.
It's pretty good.
It is. So tell us a little bit about your horse background.
So my horse background, gosh, I think I probably have like the same story as any other horse crazy girl growing up. I was probably 7 or 8 when I started riding horses, and I actually got into riding horses because my best friend was taking horseback riding lessons.
Nice.
And I didn't want to be left out. I wanted to do cool things too. And so I started taking riding lessons with her, and I'd always read like Saddle Club and Thoroughbred and Black Beauty. Yeah, so I started taking riding lessons, and I'm pretty sure my parents thought I would phase out of it by the time I was 15 or 16, and no such luck. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Yep. Yeah, a couple decades later, and I'm still involved in horses. But I got my first horse, Kinetic. I was probably 13 or 14, and he's still around, still kicking. He was my hunter. He was an off-the-track thoroughbred. And when I moved to Colorado to work on a guest ranch after college, it was sort of a if you can't beat 'em, join 'em situation. There were not a lot of English saddles up in the high country of Colorado, so swapped out the English saddle for a Western saddle, and turns out Kinetic was pretty dang cowy. But yeah, and that's kind of when I went over to the dark side of Western riding and bought myself a little paint mare, Angel, who you know.
She's featured on some of our episodes.
Yes.
She's wonderful.
Yes, for those who don't know, Annie's horse, Maddie, and Angel they're pretty tight. They're pretty good friends.
Best friends.
Yes, we're at the same barn. And yeah, so with Angel, I do versatility and ranch horse classes. That's the goal anyways.
You're getting there.
Thanks,
Definitely.
Thanks.
So on our podcast, we're all about products. So would you mind sharing with us the 3 must-haves that you have to have in your tack room?
Yeah, absolutely. So product number 1 is my Peppy spray. And I love it so much. I got it at a horse show. It was it was in the prize basket, I think, for like a High Point champion deal as for the division. And I'd never used it before. And it's like in this really cool retro aerosol bottle, and it smells so good. I am a little bit addicted to the smell. And and it works too as a coat conditioner. Angel is very shiny and her tail looks so lovely. But really it's the smell. Like when I'm at the barn, the entire barn probably just smells like air freshener, coat conditioner, and Angel is slicked to within an inch of her life because I love the smell of that so much. The second piece of equipment that I always have and is, my ride or die is my saddle. And it was really the first piece of nice horse tack that I owned. Everything prior to that was pretty much what like a 15-year-old or a poor college student could afford. So not the greatest. And this saddle is a, Can I name drop a little bit here?
So
it's a custom, not custom to me. It was custom to somebody else, but a custom McCall Teton all-around saddle with like 3/4 acorn tooling. It's really, really pretty.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. I like it a whole lot. And so I probably had no business buying that saddle when I did, because it definitely had the price tag to match. But I had moved to Fort Collins from the mountains, and Kinetic, my horse, he was still up at the ranch where I had worked on the guest ranch. And so I was like horse starved when I moved to Fort Collins. I'm like, I haven't gone more than a day without riding a horse in years. I need to get me a horse fix. And I met a woman who became like my horse fairy godmother. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because it's her fault that I own this saddle. And so I met my horse fairy godmother, and she was like, yeah, I got a whole bunch of colts. Have Adam. And she's been great. She's like held my hand through all sorts of horsey things. And she actually sold me Angel. And anyways, so, I told her that I was looking for a saddle, and she was like, okay, girlfriend, I got you. And so we were at the local Western consignment store, and I was looking at saddles that were in my price range, and they were like 20-year-old calf roping saddles, and that's what I could afford. And she pulls out this beautiful saddle from the rack, and I was like, yeah, that is a gorgeous saddle, absolutely gorgeous saddle. And I flip over the price tag, and I go, yeah. And it has the price tag to match that. And she says, well, you can take it home. Just try it out. You get to try it for a week and see if you like it. And so I take it home, and of course, it fits my horse perfectly. It fits me perfectly. It's like super, super balanced, and everything about it it's exactly what I'm looking for. It was meant to be. And it was like, well, dang it. I guess I'm buying this saddle. And so I actually took out a bank loan, took out a personal loan from Wells Fargo to buy the saddle. I don't recommend that. That's probably not the savviest financial decision, but I tell myself it was an investment.
Definitely
that saddles hold their value. And I've had that saddle for close to a decade now, and it's great. It wears great, and I love it, and I get compliments, and it's nice. It's fancy.
It was worth it.
So that's kind of the saddle story. And you're looking for one more?
One more.
All right. And then the last piece of equipment that is always with me is my helmet, which is just an Ovation schooling helmet. And I get that it's a little peculiar for a Western rider to ride with a helmet. And I don't know if that's just a holdover from my English riding days, but I don't do a schooling ride without my helmet. And I do hope that like little kids who see me riding Western, riding with a helmet, might be encouraged to do the same. Somebody told me, you can fix all sorts of broken bones, but you can't rehab a brain. And so that's kind of something that I took to heart, and knock on wood, my brain is still intact. So the helmet's kind of my lucky charm. I haven't had a nasty wreck since I've worn it. Knock on wood.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us.
Yeah, anytime I get to talk about horses is great.
Yes, awesome. And thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks for tuning in. Learn more about the Ask Annie podcast by following us on Facebook and Instagram at Ask Annie Podcast. Have a suggestion for a product you'd like me to use in an upcoming episode? Email me at askanniepodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on any of our social media pages. Find even more Ask Annie episodes on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. The Ask Annie podcast is a production of the Equine Podcast Network, an entity of Active Interest Media and the Equine Network.